Okay, the book that we're reading today is about Numbers 11. And I'll be focusing mga kapatid siguro, I'll be briefly um, adding up in chapter 11. They were complaining. And these are sins, considered sins of the people. When people complain, the Israelites were trying to compare their previous life in Egypt. God has already released them out of the bondage. And yet, um, they still complain. You see, people, we don't have satisfaction. Usually people, they don't have satisfaction. And it's the nature of humanity not to be satisfied. Kapag mainit, gusto nila medyo umulan. Pag umuulan, ayaw nila ng ulan. Mamaya gusto naman nila mainit na naman. You see, hindi tayo satisfied eh. Kaya ang sabi ng Panginoon, be satisfied, be contented for what you have. Not saying that we don't have to strive to be better, but what the Bible is telling us, mga kapatid, is to be satisfied, to be contented, to be happy to whatever state you are in. Not you are going to dwell upon complaints and you are going to provoke God simply because you haven't received or achieved and you haven't had your prayer answered. Kasi minsan, madali mag-complain sa Diyos eh. Nagko-complain tayo dahil ganito, ganyan. Sabi nga ni Pastor Alvin, maraming gustong umuwi pero hindi makauwi. Una, wala kang aeroplano, tama. Pero kahit naman umuwi ka sa atin eh. Pagdating mo sa Pilipinas, may 2 weeks quarantine. Ang iba nga doon, sabi nga nila, pagdating sa Pilipinas, doon pa sila nagkaroon ng COVID. You see, sometimes God really shuts the door. Just because the door is shut, just because the window is closed, doesn't mean that God is not opening it. But maybe God is loving us so much to shut the door, to close the window, to close those doors or opportunities or even yung sinasabi natin mga visas, simply because it may not be good for us. Because God's ways are beyond our ways. Minsan kasi ginagawa natin logic eh. Binibigyan natin ng logic, dapat ganito ang ginawa ng Lord. But no. Even Sarai, when previously she was named Sarai, and then she became Zara. That's why Hagar and Abraham had a son, Ismael. Simply because Sarai was trying to help God. She's trying to say, look, God, you promised you're going to give us a son and we're going to be the mother and the fathers of many nations. But look, I'm a barren woman. I'm old. I have gone past with the childbearing years. I cannot give birth to a child. In Genesis chapter 17, we were reading yesterday in London. And Sarah laughed. And God said, why did she laugh? And God was surprised. You're talking to me. I am the creator of the heavens and the earth. By just the word, everything came to existence. And you are questioning my power. You're questioning my ability to make things happen for you. The Israelites may have forgotten how God may have delivered them, mga kapatid. The Israelites may have forgotten hello mga kapatid. The Israelites may have forgotten them that God opened the Red Sea. That God delivered them out of 400 years of bondage. That God sent all the plagues. Lahat ng mga salot pinadala ng Diyos. And yet, they're still having this complaint. They even had the guts to question, ang dami-dami namin, kahit siguro lahat ng mga isda sa dagat lumabas, pero hindi kami kayang pakainin. Is that what you gonna ask God after this? Ganon din tayo mga kapatid. Hindi natin pwedeng tanungin ng Diyos. Yes, we can ask, but in a good manner maybe. Not provocative, na parang masyado tayong provocative na kulang na lang ay kainin natin ng Diyos o parang kasalanan pa niya. Minsan kasi ganun ng tao eh. Kaya sabi ko nga, pag tutulong ka sa tao, yun talagang kailangan. Huwag kang tutulong pag hindi kailangan, hindi humihingi. Kasi pag tumulong ka, for example, may Pilipino na, mahirap. Kaya iba naman, sanay na sa hirap eh. Pag tinulungan mo yan, bili mo ng tricycle, may reklamo pa yan. Ikaw naman na bumili ng tricycle, hindi naman ako na pumilit niyan eh. Sino ba nagpumilit niyan? Di ba ikaw? O, ay nasira ang tricycle, hindi kumikita. O, nasira ang tricycle, walang pampagawa, ikaw pang sisisihin. Ganon din ang Diyos. Maybe the Israelites were not happy of being released out of Egypt. Na parang, mas magaling pa sa Egypt kasi doon, okay naman kami, masarap ang mga pagkain. O, samantalang iniligtas na sila ng Diyos. God has already released them out of bondage and yet God still receives this complaint. Na parang nakakagalit sa kanila. Kaya kita mo ang resulta noon. God gave them what they had, but yet they did not enjoy it. Sila ay sinumpa ng Diyos. Anong sabi ng Panginoon sa last verse? Anong sabi ng Panginoon sa pinakahuling talata? And while the flesh or the meat was between their teeth and chewed, the wrath, the anger of God, of the Lord, was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. Habang kinakain nila yung kanilang hiningi, sinumpa sila ng Diyos sa sobrang galit ng Diyos. Bakit? Tinanggap nilang pagpapala not out of prayer and supplication. They had received the answer to their prayer out of complaint, out of weeping and mourning in bitterness of soul against God. Yun ang mahirap. Yun sa kagustuhan mo na talagang kahit anong mangyari pero ginagalit mo ng Diyos. Okay, bibigyan ng Diyos tapos hindi mo naman enjoy. Blessings with burden is not enjoyable. Ang pinakamaganda sa blessings mga kapatid, yung blessing na walang kasamang burden. Well, lagi naman may kasamang burden talaga yan, pero at least may mga pagkakataon na yung mga pagpapala na walang kasamang bigat. Pero yung nakakain ka nga, tapos bigla ka namang sinumpa ng Diyos, and God was saying that in verse 20. In verse 20 mga kapatid, basahin natin ang verse 20. In verse 33. While the flesh, nandun pa yung curse eh. Not only were the Israelites not used to flesh food, kasi sa haba ng paglalakbay, hindi na sila sanay kumain ng karne. Ang sanay pa silang kumain mga kapatid, yung mana. Ba doon sa mana na yon mga kapatid, sa mana na yon, yung mana na kinakain nila, na naging use na sila doon, may curse na, may kasamang curse na yun eh. They were cursed already. They had the curse of God upon them, which caused many of the people die. Yung sumpa, kaya balikan din natin mga kapatid, yung ating ikasampung bahagi. Lahat ng, these are all contemporaneous. These are all metaphor of all the spiritual life of a Christian. Pag ang kinain mo mga kapatid, kaya kayo mga kapatid ay sa Qatar, kayo na yata ang pinakamatanda sa lahat ng ating mga churches all over the world. At kayo mga kapatid ay palagi ko nagiging example sa lahat ng aking mga pagtuturo, lahat ay nai-encourage. At gusto kong i-elevate kayo. I wanted you to come to the next level of your faith, to another dimension. Not becoming like a baby Christian. Pag ang kinain mo kapatid, yung ikasampung bahagi mo, yun ay galit, yun ay pagnanakaw na sa Panginoon. And Malakay 3 is very clear. Na ninanakawan natin ang Panginoon. Sabi ng Panginoon, ninanakawan niyo ako. Sabi ng mga tao, paano Panginoon ninanakawan ka namin? Sa pamamagitan ng handog at ng mga ikasampung bahagi. Because when we eat what is not meant for us, Just like Adam and Eve, they took the fruit in the middle of the garden, which God has told them not to touch, not to eat, but they did eat. They disobeyed God. It hurts the heart of God. You see, kapag nagdi-disobey tayo mga kapatid, it doesn't just break the relationship between God and man, but it also hurts the heart of God. Nasasaktan ng Diyos eh. Bakit? You disobey. You question me. Even Moses siguro. Tama si Pastor Alvin eh. Bakit si Moses nakakapagtaka? Nagtanong pa siya. Maaaring hindi talaga pagtatanong talaga ni Moses yun eh. Kasi Moses is Moses eh. But you will see that when there is a pressure too much on someone, on us, we tend to become complainant as well. Sa dami, sa bigat. And even we were clear na inilipat ng Panginoon yung some of the spirits that were implanted to Moses. God took it. God came down to a cloud and took it and gave it to 70 men. Ganun kadami ang bigat na dala ni Moses. Pero sinasabi dito mga kapatid, kinain nila yung sumpa eh. Ganun ang nangyari kay Adam and kay Eve. They ate something which is not meant for them. The Israelites here did the same. Kumain sila ng mga bagay na may sumpa. Kaya marami sa kanila ang namatay. Hindi nila na-enjoy. They did not enjoy what they prayed for. Yun ang sinasabi mga kapatid. Ano pa ang sabi rito in verse 4? They lust for meat. Sabi nila in verse 5, we remember the fish. They keep remembering the fish. The old self. The old stuff. Expressing in words their memories of the past and regretting they left Egypt. Marami sa mga tao yung ganon. Gustong-gustong bumalik sa dati. Inaalis na ng Diyos. Dinadala na ng Diyos dun sa promised land. But of course, mga kapatid, when we travel from where we are to the promised land, there is the journey. And this is what I was encouraging you to do, mga kapatid. That during the journey, this is when the faith has to be activated. The faith has to come into play. We cannot exercise faith when everything is okay. Faith, confidence in God, has to be exercised in the journey. Madali kasi mag-pray at the beginning. It's easy to testify at the end that thank the Lord, I have made it. But during the journey, this is where it calls upon your faith. Nasaan yung pananampalataya natin doon sa journey? At doon mahahamon ang iyong pananampalataya. Dito bumagsak ang maraming Israelita. Kaya nga ang sabi mga kapatid, pinatagal ng Panginoon, kasi pinatay ng Panginoon eh. Along the way, hinayaan ng Panginoon na magkadamatay na itong mga taong to. Minsan bumubuka ang lupa, kinakain na lang sila. Kasi because of the complaint. They make comparisons between the past and the present. Kinukumpara mo yung buhay mo dati. You see, when we compare, comparison is a thief. It's a thief of joy. Kaya mga kapatid, pag ikaw ay namimili, sample namimili ka, nabibili ka ng sapatos, nakabili ka na ng sapatos, huwag ka nang hahanapan ng hawak mo na eh. Nasa plastic bag na. Okay? Nabili mo na yung sapatos ng Nike, for example. Nabili mo ng 100 Qatar. Huwag mo nang hahanapin sa ibang tindahan kung may ibang kapareho pa yon sapatos na yon na may mas mura pa. Bakit? Magkakaroon ka ng dissatisfaction. Bakit? Kasi kinukumpare mo na eh. Naku, bakit naman ganun? Mukhang na-dengue ako dun sa isang shop na yun 100 ang pagkakabili ko din doon pala sa doon may mas mura, may 50 real lang. Kakainis Balik kaya natin. You see, nagkakaroon na tayo ng comparison. Nagkakaroon tayo ng hindi na tayo masaya because we compare. Ganon din sa ating mga partners. Amen. Sa ating mga sweethearts, never compare. Amen mga kapatid, kasi pag kinumpare mo yung nakita ko yung yung aking classmate ko, tall, dark, and handsome. Yung partner mo ngayon, short, tapos mataba, o walang buhok. Kinukumpare. At pag yan ang nangyari, kinumpare mo ng kinumpare, mawawala ang saya, mawawala ang ligaya sa buhay. Kaya ang ginagawa natin mga kapatid, focus lang tayo kung nasaan tayo. Just focus on what God has given you. Be happy. Be contented with what you have. Contentment is the key. Just because you are, ang sinasabi natin contentment, hindi ibig sabihin hindi ka na magsisikap. Hindi. Ibig sabihin, hindi dapat maging dahilan yon para hindi ka maging masaya. For example, wala pa eh. Wala pa yung hinihingi ko, Panginoon eh. Pero okay lang. Kasi I'm on the journey. Nandito ako, Panginoon eh. Umaasa ako na darating din yung aking panahon. And my time shall arrive. And I believe that good things, the best, is yet to come. Darating ang aking pagkakataon at sa pagkakataong yun ay magiging masaya ako. Huwag tayong compare ng compare. Amen mga kapatid? Huwag mo i-compare yung dati mong buhay kaysa ngayon. Tatandaan mo, inaalis ka na ng Diyos dun sa Egypt eh. Egypt is a form of slavery. And when God is taking you to the promised land, that is a promised land where the milk and honey flows. But God is giving you the opportunity to trust in Him during the journey. Ang ayaw natin mangyari, inalis ka ng Diyos dun sa slavery, tapos dun sa journey, pinatay din tayo ng Diyos. Because of complaint. Marami kasing ganon. Nagko-complain. Ano pa ang sabi mga kapatid? Provoking God to anger. Ginagalit natin ng Diyos. Wag na wag mong gagalitin ng Diyos. Ang sabi ni Moses in verse 10, Then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased. Yung, minsan kasi nakakainis din yun sa dami ng tao. Pero mo, milyon yung dala ni Moses eh. According to biblical scholars, there were like 2 million people. 2 milyong tao Ganong kadami ang dala ni Moises. And they are in the middle of the desert. Kaya minsan, yung ating pagko-complain, nakakagalit sa Diyos. Sa halip na, sabi sa ni Moises, kayo mga magmanalangin tayo mga kapatid. Mag-ayuno tayo. Magtiwala tayo sa Panginoon. God has done this and has done that. Nagawa na ng Diyos to. Pero ngayon, kaya uling gawin ng Panginoon yan. Dapat ganun sana yung approach eh. Pero ang ginawa ng mga tao, they complained. And because of that complaint, it really displeased God. Ang pinakakahinaan ng Diyos mga kapatid, one of the weaknesses of God, mga kapatid, is to be disbelief. Pag nawalan ka na ng tiwala sa Panginoon, wala na tayong pinag-uusapan, wala kang tiwala sa Diyos eh. In anything. Employment, pag wala kang tiwala sa tao mo, huwag mong employed. Huwag mo nang kuhanin kasi wala kang tiwala. Whatever he or she does, you don't believe him anyway. So what's the point of a relationship? Employment-employee relationship, tapos wala naman tiwala, alisin mo na. Ganon din ang Panginoon. Kahit anong gawin mo ng Panginoon, wala ka rin tiwala. Ayaw ng Diyos ng ganon. And that is the weakness of God. The strength of God is when we exercise, when we give our total dependency upon Him. Tama sabi ni Pastor Paul, na kapag nagtitiwala tayo sa Panginoon, nandun yung full confidence na Panginoon, you can do all things. Panginoon, ikaw ang may gawa ng lahat ng bagay. Kung nagawa mo kaming papuntahin dito sa Qatar, ano ba namang utusan mo yung mga nasa visa section at ilipat yung isang visa dun sa aking passport para makapagtrabaho ko? Nothing is impossible with God. Wala namang nawawala sa Diyos eh. Kahit ibigay niya sa yung buong sanlibutan, wala nawawala sa Diyos. Bakit? He created everything. But sometimes, God is there to test us. God is there asking, will you still rely upon me? You see, the journey is a testing period. For you to live in full promised land life, kailangan na pagkatiwalaan ka ng Panginoon sa journey sa disyerto. Moses did before he led the Israelites out of Egypt, and they went to dito sa ilang, sa desert, sa wilderness. Moses was tested by God 40 years before he came back to Egypt, because those testing intensified and solidified Moses' faith. So that kapag nag-lead na siya ng mga Israelite, he knows the tricks, he knows the terrain of the wilderness, because he was already tested in there, in the same department. And maybe when God is testing you in that particular department, maybe God is telling you one day you are gonna lead. You're gonna be a living testimony to many people who will be undergoing to the same testing period. And you will become a testimony that I have been there. But you know what? Hindi ako pinabayaan ng Panginoon. I was there. Nandyan ako sa kanyang mga pagsubok. Ngunit hindi ako iniwanan ng Panginoon. Ganun ang ginagawa ng Panginoon, mga kapatid. Yung mga bisa na yan, maliliit na bagay yan. Pero wag tayong do not recourse to complaint. Huwag kang mag-recourse sa complaint. Huwag mong iwanan ang Panginoon dahil lang sa ganyan. Tama, lagi nating tatandaan ang sinabi ni Job. Mabubuting bagay lang ba ang maaasahan ko sa Diyos? Yun lang ba? Doon lang ba ako? Nandun lang ba ako sa church pagka everything is okay? But if everything is not okay, then no, I'm going to leave. These are the actions of baby Christians. Because they like the commitment, but they don't like they like the cross, they like they like the friendship, but they don't like the commitment. They don't like to be committed to the cross, to walk. What did Jesus say? If you want to follow me, you have to deny yourself, pick up the cross, and follow me. This is the cross that we are in right now, and everybody is suffering the same way as you do. And we have to pick it up, mga kapatid. Kailangan natin kuhanin yung cross na yon. Bitbitin natin yung dalang bigat na yon. At Panginoon, even with this cross on my back, I'm still going to follow you. Lalakad ako, Panginoon, kasama mo. Through thick and thin, hindi natin iiwanan ng Panginoon. Yun ang naghahanap ang Panginoon ngayon, mga kapatid, ng ganyang mga tao. Ayaw ng Panginoon nung nandyan lang sa sarap. Pero pag mahirap na, nawawala na. Ayaw ng Panginoon ng gano'n. Kaya sabi ng Panginoon, mga kapatid, sino lamang ang magtiis, sino lamang ang magtsaga hanggang wakas, ay siya lamang ang maliligtas. Amen, mga kapatid? Kung sino lamang ang magtiis, kasi patatagan to eh. The more we rely upon God, doon natutuwa ang Panginoon. You remember one time when Paul asked God to remove the thorns of the flesh. It was Saint Paul, one of the greatest apostles and apostles of Christ. Half of the New Testament was written by Paul. And yet, Paul had the thorns of the flesh. And many biblical scholars, theologians, they haven't really found out the definition of the thorns of the flesh. Maybe he had this disease or things like that, but there's nothing specific that they have found. But what did God say? God says, my grace is sufficient for you because my power is displayed and I am glorified when you are weak. Maaaring sa kahinaan natin, mga kapatid, sa kahinaan natin, diyan lalo nalalantad at lumalabas ang kapangyarihan ng Diyos. Hayaan mo diyan sa mga nangyayari ngayon, mga kapatid. Hayaan mo diyan sa mga problema natin sa buhay. Hayaan mong lumabas ang karunungan at ang kapangyarihan, ang kaluwalhatian ng Diyos. Makita mo kung paano kumilos ang Diyos. You see, sometimes God is using all those things. When I think it was Gideon, God said to Gideon, how many people do you have? Gideon said, I have this much, and I think I can win. And God said to Gideon, you know what? Remove all this. Remain. Only choose the 300 men. You see? God gave him the command not to dwell, not to rely, not to be dependent on the force of his warriors. Hindi magtiwala sa kanyang mga sandata at saka sa kanyang mga kawal, sa kanyang mga sundalo at mandirigma. No. Sabi ng Panginoon, magtira ka lang ng 300. Bakit? Kasi baka pag nanalo ka, sabi ng Panginoon, sabihin mo na nanalo ka, dahil lang sa lakas ninyo. No. 300 lang. Labanan nyo yung libu-libo mga taong yan, pero 300 lang ang dadalhin mo dyan. Para pag nanalo kayo, you will know that it's not because of your strength, but because of me giving you all the power to succeed and to be victorious in this legal battle. Itong sa pakikipaglaban nila sa mga Amalekites. You see, minsan ganun eh. Yung mga nararamdaman natin, yung mga nakikita natin sa buhay, mga kapatid. Gagamitin ng Diyos yan. Ipapakita, ang panalangin mo dapat sa Diyos ganito. Panginoon, I am going through with this. Kagaya ng ginawa ni Maria. When the angel appeared to Mary, and he said, Hail Mary, you are the blessed woman among all the women in the world. You are highly favored by the Most High. And sabi ni Mary, yes, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Oh, you're going to give birth to a lovely baby boy, and he will be called Emmanuel, which means God is with us. He will become the Prince of Peace. And then Mary pondered it. Inisip ni Mary anong mga nakikita niya kasi first time niya makakita ng anghel. Diba? Imagine mo, isang virgin, 16 years old, tapos sasabihin ng magkakaroon siya ng anak, buntis. Isang iskandalo. Isang malaking iskandalo at malaking usap. Lalo na sa probinsya, mga kapatid. Kapag ikaw ay nabuntis na wala kang asawa, malaking chismis ang lalabas sa buong community. Pero what did Mary say? What did her response was? Her response was, Be it unto me according to your word. Hayaan mo na makaranas ka niyan. Kasi lahat dadanas, kailangan mong maranasan, kailangan mong hasain eh. Kailangan mong dumaan sa ganyang mga pagsubok upang makilala mo. Kasi minsan, masyado tayong reliant eh. Nasa Qatar na ako eh. Nasa abroad na ako eh. I'm good. I'm made already. Life and God, or life itself, will test. Pero hayaan mong dumaan ka dyan, kapatid. Para malaman mo na ang Diyos ang gumagawa ng lahat ng mga bagay. At Diyos sa mga nangyayari sa iyo, one day, you will go at the front in the church and you will say, you know what, mga kapatid? Kasi darating yung panahon na yun eh. Na lahat ng ito, mga kapatid, tama sabi ni Pastor Alvin, and I agree with that, na lahat ng ito matatapos. At pag natapos yan, mga kapatid, everybody is happy. Lahat ng tao masaya. Lahat ng tao may patotoo. May isi, mga kapatid, you cannot be a general. Kaya natutuwa ako noong in-interview si General Bato. General Bato was interviewed. Nakikinig ba kayo, mga kapatid? General Bato was interviewed by a television network. And the reporter said, General, why are those many stars in your badge? What are they? I don't understand why all these military people, they have all this badge, like all this, that, the flag, the that. Why do you have this? General Bato, one by one, specifically, one by one, he said, you know what? This one, he said, this one came from when I fought in Vietnam in 19 blah blah. This one, I went to Iraq. I went there. This one, I went there. This one, I succeeded there. All the stars, he tried to remember and reminisce how he succeeded in each war, in each battlefield. He kept fighting, defending the sovereign security of the Philippines and the allies. He remembered all those stars. And I want you to remember this, mga kapatid. I want you to have that kind of imaginary stars in your badge. That one day, you will see that those badge, you know what? In 2020, from March to June, I was there. Naalala mo yung mga victim ng volcano? Di ba may nakalagay na, pag minsan may nababasa nakasulat, I was there. Gusto ko makilala nyo rin ang Panginoon, mga kapatid, ng ganon. Not only on the good times, but also on those badge. on those stars. On the COVID-19, that was the COVID-19. God was with me. Hindi niya ako pinabayaan. Wala akong trabaho, pero kumain ako. Wala akong hanap buhay, pero nakabayad ako ng bahay. Wala akong kinikita, pero hindi ako pinabayaan ng Diyos. And that one, you see, yun ang gusto ng Panginoon. You always exalt His name. Mga kapatid. Ano pa mga kapatid? They manifest unbelief in God's power to provide for them. In 11 chapter 4, sinabi yan ng Panginoon. Sinabi nila yan. Nagko-complain sila. Na parang sinabi nila na they don't believe in God. The power of God who can provide for all their needs. No. Don't be like them, mga kapatid. Itong mga aral natin na ito, mga kapatid, ito ay nagtuturo sa atin upang maging kakaibang approach natin. Magiging salamin ito ng ating pananampalataya, mga kapatid. Hindi lang ito para basahin o para pag-usapan. Let us apply it into ourselves for us not to do the same and not to suffer the same curse that God Himself put against His people. Kasi itong mga Israelita, people of God ito eh. Diyos na nga ang nagtanggal sa kanila sa Egypt. Mahal sila ng Diyos. But because of their complaining heart, disbelief, God Himself killed them. Yun ang sinasabi ko, mga kapatid. Tayo mga Kristiyano, mga kapatid, ay tinatawag na believers. Believers. Naniniwala. Yun ang dapat exercise natin. Maniwala tayo na, Panginoon, naniniwala ako na ang lahat ng bagay ay magaganap. Panginoon, alam ko imposible, pero Panginoon, lahat ng bagay ay posible. You know, tapos na ako, mga kapatid. Mga siguro 5 minutes na lang. Yun ang sinasabi ko. I think Pastora Madeline was there. That when God created, when God changed the name of Abram, Abram, to Abraham, and Sarai to Zara, God did not only change His name. God revealed His name, His new name, to Abraham and to all his people under the name El Shaddai. The El Shaddai, which means God the mountain. Some of the scholars, some of the Jewish, they say that the El Shaddai means the God of more than enough, the God who is more than sufficient to our needs. And it's refreshingly good to know that we can tap the supernatural resources of God. But you know what makes it different, mga kapatid? What makes it different to this new name is that Abram had an aspirate of letter H. In the United Kingdom, H, and in the modern world, modern countries nowadays, even the new educational alphabets, they pronounce letter H. Sa Pilipinas kasi H. But in the first world country like US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand, they pronounce letter H sa Pilipinas as H. So Abram was given an aspirate H. Ha, Abraham, Sarah. So every time you pronounce their name, there's a breath from the living God, from the El Shaddai. When He put the letter H on their name, everything, their disbelief, were superseded by the breath of God, by the breath of the living God. The H gave them life, that all those things which are impossible to man became impossible to God. Nang lahat ng mga imposible sa tao ay pwedeng maging posible at maaaring mangyari sa Diyos. Because of that H. Kaya mga kapatid, yun ang sinasabi ko na kailangan nating panampalatayanan ng Panginoon. Especially at this point. Amen mga kapatid. Siguro, yun lang mga kapatid ang gusto ko ma-share sa inyo. At magandang gabi sa inyong lahat mga kapatid. Thank you.